All right, like no, Shalom Israel, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barakatah to all the brothers. Salaki, Yahweh Shem Alatam, Hashem Yahushai to the sisters. All right, peace and officer Taz. We're holding on for peace and officer Galwan today. All right, for the scripture breakdown class. But today, in Trinidad and Tobago, right, the Trin Island of Trinidad and Tobago, there's a holiday that is called Emancipation Day, right? But I don't know how emancipated we are, and by definition, right? When we look up the terminologies and what we face today, the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man in Trinidad and Tobago around the shores of the Caribbean, Central and South America, in the United States, in the UK, wherever we reside, we never seem to have the same attachment to being emancipated, all right? So without further ado, what we'll do is we go into the definition of emancipation, all right? And today we'll measure and see if today should be a day called emancipation. At least for us, it should give everybody else that, and not give that to us, right? Let's see if that's the case. All right, definition of emancipation: the fact or process of being set free from legal, social, or political restrictions. Liberation. Liberated, right? Free from legal, social, and political restrictions, okay? Today is the black man. Does the black man have his identity today? They call him an African, right? Where is the school that shows the black man, the exact tribe that he comes from, his exact language, the things that used to work for him? I'm talking about more than 500 years ago, because we like to harp on the fact, right, that they call us Trinidadians. But Trinidad is a 500-year-old country. What do you do, right? Or where could you trace back to your ancestors to show, right, that we are emancipated people, right? Where do we tie into? Where do we belong as a society, as the so-called black man? Where do we face in this cosmopolitan society of Trinidad and Tobago? Where's our infrastructure, our health infrastructure, our financial and educational infrastructure? Where is it? Where are our representatives, right? Not for everybody. I'm talking about the Chinese have their association, the Syrians have their association, the East Indian have their Mahasabha, right? The so-called white man, he has his, democratic policies and the Democrats and Republican system, right? That is totally run by them, okay? But with a few of us being allowed trinkets, right? A few of us having the getting an opportunity, right, to serve under them, but not be, understand, the rulers of that. We don't show the legislation. And if it was that we was emancipated according to here, we're not supposed to be constrained by their legal system, their social system, their political restrictions, and we're supposed to be liberated. So why is it that if I go into Syria, right, and I pose a threat, there's almost, understand, a guaranteed outcome or a guaranteed reaction that we might face a war, an actual war between nation and nation? Where does that happen when they go into the black community and they shoot one of our brothers, which is an act of war, right? Where does that happen? But if I go to this place, to Syria, right, and I kill one of the second in command there, the entire street will have an uproar. They will shut down the entire country. Where is that for the so-called black man? Hispanic man, Native Indian man? Anybody get that? So are we emancipated then? I don't know. Somebody in the comments could probably say that. Show me. I might be missing it. But where is it? Where could we find it? Tell me.
I think that it's really emancipated, but we still carrying the surname of the slave masters.
Thank you very much. There's a heavy point, you follow? So where is our family lineage? Where are our royalties? You follow? Where are the things that come along with being, a family that has its own name, that has their own history, their own legacy? Where is that? Where is that enshrined? Where is the museum with our artifacts, our actual history? Where is it? Is that important to the culture of our people? What does a race have? Let's look into the definition of race, right? Or nationality. Look at nationality definition, right? Let's look it up here and let's see what we find here. Ah, boy, the definition of nationality, the status of belonging to a particular nation. Where do we belong to? What nation or what race? Because that's the definition of nationality. What race do we belong to? Who teaches that in the schools? Where is it in the colleges? Let's say if they miss a mistake, primary school, secondary school, where is it in the colleges? Where is it taught? Emancipated man and woman. Where is it?
Oh, like the scripture say, they consulted together, you know.
Damn right.
And remember who he is anymore.
Cancer, damn right.
So all the races and then how big part of it.
Cancer, correct. Right? Because if it means that you cannot have yours, which means somebody's trying to fight you from having yours.
Right.
Yeah, as the officer was just now bringing out there. Right, and with that, let us get, there's a very nice scripture to bring up here, Psalm 33. Right, because we could now tie it in and see if follow that this is our actual plot against us, and why it is that every other race could have theirs and they don't want us to have ours, which means they definitely come together as the scripture saying, Psalm 33, Babakasha.
Book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 2.
Concern.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
And enemies make a tumult, they make a confused noise, they make an uproar. Go ahead.
And they that hated thee have lifted up the head.
And they that love the Most High.
And they that hated thee have lifted up the head.
And them that hated God, that pretenders, the Christians and all of that, what they have done?
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
right,
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
So what wrong with that? Even though, right, let's say Christianity was a good thing for our people, what is wrong with us having our identity? Why it is that we have to be Christian, but the East Indian could come from East India and know exactly where they come from, the tribe that they come from, the spot they come from, the people in Indonesia. Why it is that a Chinese man and a Korean will have what you call it, a serious issue with them being called each other, with them accepting their names. And there's Christian, and they can have the Christianity, but they can still have the identity. Why it is we, you understand, mustn't have ours? Why is that? We don't have Babakasha. Let's see why.
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Right.
Together with one consent.
Wait now. I thought everybody was equal. So how come they consulted together? How come the European the Union? We call it the thing that's around the UN, United Nations, right? How come all of them sit down together and plot it and where's our space? Where's our representation? Where's our seat? Where's the history of us? You understand? Actually coming together and bringing contributions together that help the black community. Everybody else, I don't see, you understand, they're going through that in their communities. I don't see they pushing all the drugs and the alcohol stuff, and all them the churches in their communities. I don't see that. So how come they understand how much structure to make sure that these things are implemented and they're protected, but we don't have ours? How come, you understand, when other African nation try to come against and crush another African nation, the UN has come, you understand, and try to put a halt to that. But when they come in and pushing drugs to our community, there's no halt to that. How come they could overlook, you understand, all these containers of drugs and guns coming into the communities? Right? And nobody's saying, hey, that's a serious issue, right? If all of this is the act of war, where's the pause on that? Where's the inquisition? Where's the case, the court cases I can see? And the high cases going up to be council in the UK. Where can I see that? Where is it? If we emancipated. Probably we're not emancipated after all. We don't Babakasha, yes sir?
Yeah, so that yes. And bring out that they it's really heavy in a way, because now you can bring 2 points to this now.
Right.
Now we're showing where we as our people not emancipated. And then now you can bring out the point now showing where Commanding General Yana really emancipate brothers.
Damn right.
In the end, where we are today and understanding, showing our identity and really bringing us back together to really be that nation, as the scripture now say that we are a nation not desired.
Answer, that's right. For sure, because remember this is the entire government they fighting in. These people make up a nation has a government. If all you fighting them for the opportunity for them to rule over the people well, and they want theirs. So how come that could be, you understand? That could be tolerated, right? And then we take, you understand, the trinket or the little gift of being so-called emancipated. But when I look up the definition, does nobody who celebrate emancipation read the definition of emancipation? Some of us we work for banks, lawyers, doctors, you understand, judges, all these different things. Where all these judges that making decisions on people's life on a daily basis, how come they never see these things in them and make an uproar about it? How come Archer Ivy, you understand, Archie and Deborah Thomas Felix and they, how come they never come together with the council, they fall and say, hey, this, you understand, is an act of war on our people? Could they understand these things? How come they never stand up for us and say, well, bam, look what's going on here with these people and we can't allow this to happen? What will happen to us? The system exists. You follow? So which means the people in them here, that leading us then, they leading us down a trap. If I'm mistaken, we could see it here, you understand, it's a clear pathway that they're leading us to destruction, right? But wait now, but who's the moral authority on the planet right now? Everybody like Christianity, right? But everybody like the culture. How come they just keep the culture and all of that? You know what I mean? At least they keep the heritage. They just keep all the good things that's come from them, because I doesn't see nobody coming up the money that they get, you understand, through the culture and say, well, I don't want this. I will keep the Christianity, but take back all your money. Who does that? All the money that come from slave labor, you understand, the rape and robbery and all these different things that happen to us for them to be rich. The banks in that they stand today, all these financial institutions and all of that. How come they doesn't come up the money? Neil and Marcy and all of them, how come they doesn't, you understand, say, well, you follow? We know exactly where it come from. You know what I mean? Who they say, okay, if I know a man sell drugs, you follow? Real drugs. And he come into an institution, he doesn't have no other business, no shell corporation that try and hide it, nothing. And come into a business, right? And say, well, all right, I want to buy cash. Who does do that? Who does take it like that? That's really entry. What that would be? That would put them in jeopardy, right? That could shut down their business for receiving stolen goods or being affiliated, you understand, with narcotics and the sale of illicit trade, right? So how come that these people and them that have all this money and generating all that money now, the black leaders and them of our community, not saying the eloquent, you understand, the well thought of, and all these people that is push the Emancipation Committee and all of that, they have a committee now. How come they say, well, no, we can't take that money? How come they don't say that? But not even they saying, okay, if they was Christian then, they follow, and they was real holy about it and all of that, right? And they say, I didn't want to take anything that I suspect, not that they know of, I don't know of, because I know that the bank, you understand, was raised on drug money. I know they understand the thief and the rape and the rob to get that money. I know that for sure. Anybody can see that. They follow, there's documents here. I have a document here that's talking about in Wall Street, where the slaves and they, right? The emancipated people. The way Wall Street built up was offered insurance policies of the slaves. That was the first set of insurance policies. In fact, no, the majority, let me say this is the first, but I know the majority, 60% according to the document, 60% of them was offered slave labor. And that is what they run into today on. I don't see the black leaders and they saying that I ain't taking that money. Or we shouldn't contribute to that. And we should not know emancipation. What should happen is we take away all our money from feeding them further. I don't see that happening though. Right? Because they say now with slavery, right, with emancipation now, you're supposed to be free. Right? So we don't have no identity, we don't have no culture. You understand? We don't have no financial stability and all the different institutions to teach us. We don't have that at all, right? But here we have though. We have a trinket. You understand? We have somebody coming and saying sweet words, right? Well, let me pull, you understand, Isaiah chapter 3 and verse. Just now, where is it? Give me the scripture that say that them that lead the cause it to err, but in the meantime, give me Isaiah 30 back of the shop. Only Isaiah 30, right? So these black leaders and they that know about the right? These black leaders and them that know about, we call it the emancipation and how it come together, because remember they have to go through documents to say, right, that this is something acceptable, right? So how come it acceptable for us, in a sense, to get all these different, we call it, atrocities done against us, right? But we're not making no stand against it, saying that this is a lie, that we're not emancipated. How come? I know somebody can answer that for me. Because they went to documentation to set up the committee, right? Anybody else establish a business, they had to go through and do that, right? Legislation to do that. So where is it then? Why the leaders down that path with them? Good question. Anybody have the idea? Them that lead the custody to her? Baba Kusha, you made?
Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12.
Baba Kusha, go ahead.
As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people,
right,
which to err and destroy the way of thy path.
Give me the last part again. O my people, Baba Kusha.
O my people, they which led thee, cause thee to err and destroy the way of my path.
Them not leading you right now, in a sense, lead you to err, because you're not emancipated by definition. Neither can I see it in the way we operate, the way our communities function as a people. You don't have your identity, you don't have your culture, you don't have your language, you don't have your laws, you don't have no structure to make sure that you are protected in any way, shape or form. You are not emancipated black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. This is another lie that you choose to believe. Some of you, I don't want to say all of you, or majority of you, that is upon you all to decide now. All we're doing is presenting the information, and now you have the ability to assess what you actually face and what you say that you're celebrating. Are you emancipated? Because there's a lot of people, right, that like to play, that like to say that they're African and they're very strong about black power and all of that in word, right? But this is not black attachment state, which means it have a language, it have what you call it, a constitution. It have a constitution attached to it, you follow. It have ways that you're supposed to live, laws and bylaws, guidelines, right? So if it is that you want to be emancipated, or you like the idea of being actually free, then you need to come back to your identity. You need to do the things that belong to your nation, right? Give me the Isaiah 30, Baba Kusha. Give me
the book of Isaiah 30 and verse 1.
Baba Kusha.
Woe to the children,
rebellious children, the stiff-necked children, the hard-headed children. Go ahead.
Saying the Most High, that take counsel, but not of me.
Pause right there. Who told you that you were African? Who told you that you emancipated? Where did this idea come from? Who told you that? Let's see. Okay, so let's go into emancipation. Where is it? 1 second, Dr. Shah. Yes. A little technical difficulty. Read on, Baba Kusha, in the meantime.
And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
Right? So them that lead you, causing you to destruction, you tell here, showing you exactly where you come from, and the things that you would have faced, and the things that you do face because of living off your culture, living off your heritage. And evidently, you just proved there that the people that are leading you right now, the so-called black leaders, and the Kid Rowley, and all these different people, and they leading you to error. Because you start off emancipated, which is a lie, and you are not. Right? We done, Baba Kusha?
That they may add sin to sin.
Right? Because all it causes you to do, right, by believing that you're free, everything that you would participate in, you understand, you would go and sin. Not only do you take on the culture of another people, right? Along with the culture of other people, they have things that they do which is against the scriptures because they don't follow laws that was given to you, right? The law that's supposed to be guidelines for proper living on the face of the earth. You don't follow that. So one, you definitely will be sinning. We done, Baba Kusha.
That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth.
Right. What we like to say? What black people like to call themselves? They like to call themselves what? Black people, what they like to call themselves? Africans and particular things. Trinidadian, Egyptian, they familiarize themselves with that type of identity. Ask anybody today. But where they learn that from though? How come the pastors never tell them you teach Israel in the Bible? How come they never tell them, well, you know what I mean? Look, this is exactly what you all used to do. Right? And coming up forward here, this is what our grandparents and them tell us coming and passing down the line that was supposed to be taught, right? But they ain't saying that. So how come it okay, you understand, to not teach beyond 500 years ago? How come that becomes something common? I would take offense. You know, I mean, imagine if I, you understand, is a family, a royal heir to be a zillionaire, a trillionaire somewhere, right? And they say, and they cut me off, as the scripture was saying in Psalm 33, they cut me off from being a nation, from getting the things that belong to me. How would I, understand? How would I operate if I even find out that man, you understand, strip me away from that? How would I operate? How any person? All right. How does the so-called white man, understand, the oppressor, how he does operate when they try to do that for him? When they try to take away his American flag and all these different things, what did they do? Recently, oh gosh, this is some stuff. What you do? It may go, right? How you do that though? Like a recent example. Storm the capital, try to overthrow the government. Black man. We're not advocating for nobody to go and try to throw over the White House and the Red House and burn it down. We're not saying that. It's all about why do you agree with liars? Why do you agree with people, you understand, that take away your identity, follow your ability now to really and truly live and develop and grow? Yes, sir. Right? Why do you agree with persons like that? You follow? Why do you take counsel from men that don't want, that making sure that you don't get, you understand, the things that belong to you? Is that question I like anybody answer? Well, what's the mind, SHALAM says, right? What's the idea behind that? About just agreeing with anything that, you know, that seem viable, you know? When I am looking it up, there's the next day to celebrate. And then what? Because so much years to do that now. It has to be somebody inside that fed up. It has to be somebody that said, nah, something wrong here. You know what I mean? Like, why are we doing this even? What is come out of this? Right? What I say, yeah, man. Right? Somebody has to be fed up. Somebody had to say, well, take stock, right? You know what I mean? Because right? And then somebody in had to begin a cut, because they say the people who are running it now, they get about the other people on them. What are you doing it for? If you are not cut again, you understand? They say don't interest in no way financially, or some blight or some contract or something like that. Why are you doing it? For what's sake? Give me a second. Oh, I understood, right? We don't know the Isaiah Babakisha today. Let's not jump into verse 7, Babakisha.
Book of Isaiah 30 and verse 7.
Right.
For the Egyptians shall help in vain.
Right. So where Marcus Garvey and them, you know what I mean? That the things that them they push for, why is it not materialized? They like to push for Africa and all of that, but where is the help? Anybody can tell me in the last 20 years, at least the last recent 20 years, where is the actual support? Let me do some measurement now. We take it, we tone it down a little bit. They use some measurement. We actually do some what you call it, some breaking down. They use some assessment now in terms of the actual health for the last 20 years. How is Egypt, you understand? The Egyptians or the Africans and where's the health? Where's the ethos? What have they contributed? They follow to make sure that the so-called black man that facing, you understand, all this gun violence in America, when the crack epidemic was happening and all of that, why they wasn't inviting all these superstars and at that time to come and get aid, to come back and fix your communities? You do some assessment on that. Where was they that time? Non-evident, right? What vein mean? Anybody? What is the definition of vein?
You want to get from your website, sir?
Babakasha, sir? Where is the help? You know what I mean? All of us one. We dark people, you understand? We dark skinned. We're African, right? We're my tribe, you know what I mean? With the support I would need from a tribe then to come and build up my communities. Where is it? That's yeah.
All right. Vein from the Merriam-Webster dictionary to no end, without success or result. That's one, right?
Answer.
In an irrelevant or blasphemous manner. Having or showing undue or excessive pride in one's appearance or achievement. Marked by fertility or influence. Having no real value, sorry.
Babakasha, give me the last one again, Babakasha.
3, having no real value.
Having no real value. They're just useless. They help in vain, and we could show the evidence of that. So why would I attach myself to a culture that I'm supposed to be belonging to? That's supposed to give me freedom then. When with freedom now, they say, I'm free from legal, social, and whatever other things are supposed to be liberated, right? So why would I attach myself to anything, you follow, that doesn't give me real value? When I do the assessment, the concrete assessment, and I look at the numbers, and I look at the history, I don't see no help from these Egyptians, from these Africans, you understand, from the Chinese and all these different people and them. I suppose, sir, which means that my people are supposed to be on the up and up. So, go ahead.
Yeah, so actually, I've got an example of that recently. This fighter are doing in the UFC. He's a Nigerian, I think he's living in either Ireland or New Zealand or one of them.
Right.
But basically, when he win the belt, he went back. He didn't come in the Caribbean, he didn't go in America.
Right.
He went back to Nigeria.
Right.
And he's setting up a program across the to train the next generation of fighters.
Thank you very much.
Obama and all too.
Right.
Doing the same thing and investing in
right.
And African NBA.
Right.
In Africa.
Babakasha, give me that again. What name it called?
Obama.
Who?
Obama.
Again, Babakasha?
Obama.
Obama, the Black Hope. Yeah. You understand? The thought was black.
Yeah.
Same thing with Kamala Harris.
He didn't invest in America.
Oh.
People residing or in the Caribbean.
Don't do that. No, they helping in vain. So let me say, right? Let me say it was an equal exchange that these superstars are buying into and thinking. Can't say, yeah?
Yeah, just to add, and we have Barrett saying there and all too. If you look at even right in Trinidad, right? When he can come and he make all the money.
Ah, boy.
He can turn right back to Africa.
Right.
You understand? I'm going to do a bit more history, even on the Black Caucus movement. They came to set up themselves, take the money, and then go right back where they come from.
Cancer. As always.
Keep backing on work.
As always, understand? Rob and spoil, you go into that in a little bit too, right? So these people and them, they have an evident history, but even if that the black people, the black leaders and them, that side with them, where's the returns on your investment? Because you're saying, you follow that you're supporting them to get assistance to come back here. Where is it? Where's the return on your investment? If that is the case, if always one, if then you follow that you're doing it for the benefit of your people, so-called. Because it's the same taxpayers' money. I ain't seeing you some investment that you have with some big business. They're scraping up all their money, and then you're going to do that. No, you're going to take the same taxpayers' money, all the people that scraping hard and working on all of that. That's supposed to be for them to help their economy and their society, their neighborhoods, build it up with little, we call it community centers and proper programs running, right? To make sure that they're educated and they're well skilled to do things. Instead, you take away the trade schools. Isn't that right, Officer Barrett? I think you tell me that, right? So they shut down all the trade. Thank you. They're not giving you the education, right? In Mount Hope. If you wasn't a East Indian, you couldn't get into the hospitals and them to go and do no practice. You have to make sure that they're going to prove a year first somewhere else to get admitted into there. By the time they was exposed, they was going share. They was sharing all the common entrance papers and all them different college papers and buying the way up the ladder. You follow, and they came across here in what 1845, right? So the people in that so-called care, you understand, and the Emancipation Committee and all these leaders that are destroying the parts according to the scriptures, will follow. They know that we was here since 1600s, right? Where is their pity for you? You understand? Care. Where is they, coming up and saying, all right, these people in them, my people in them, need, you understand, to really get a push forward. They definitely need it. Everybody else getting their share. People that come after and all getting theirs. You follow? Wherever they come from, and they have the whole pitch lake lease out. People in library, if you see the road in library, for them that ain't familiar, you follow, and the roads all over Trinidad, but especially library, right in front of the pitch lake. They come like a person, they follow and slapping everybody's face that living in library. The pitch lake right there, the same place they're exporting all over America and all in different places and them to get. Go ahead.
So like, another thing too, the roads on them in library and point is only fixed when black people protest, right?
Correct. Protest. And that's if they feel and want to get them something after that. Well, look, you know what they're looking for? To tell them again that they're wrong for doing that. So you're going to rape them, abuse them, and then you're telling them they're wrong, you understand, for coming kicking up brass against it. You follow? And this oppressor, you understand something that you're at war. That is the main purpose of this class to help you to understand. You're not emancipated, you're in bondage. Your nation, you understand, the exile of government, under you understand the unscrupulous mindsets and attributes and ways of our people that does not decide to change, that don't think, you understand, to even think about even trying to change in the next 10,000 centuries. They're not. That's not a built, you follow? They're built on oppression. It's nothing else. You're not emancipated black man. You need to wake up out of that, you understand, that lie you're telling yourself that you're buying into. You understand? Let them who want to promise you all this garbage and all of that, all the little money and the hamper this and the hamper that and all of that, you don't need that. Commanding General Yahanna, you understand? By the grace and mercy of the Most High, have a place to follow always in existence for you, and understand, that proper leadership, proper accountability, and a place that you could put your hands to and see the returns, you understand, or what it is that you want to contribute to, which is the betterment of your people, which means, you understand, that at least you follow start to live until we rule. So now it's practice and training. Now it's training now to practice how to rule, how to govern, and how to deal with situations righteously on the face of the earth. You're not going to get it anywhere else, because when I look, you understand, when we look at it, when you examine it, what's going on with these people and them, you're not seeing it. They don't have a plan to do that. They never had a plan to do it. Which manifesto you know right now, you understand, that ever come to pass? Which one of them? And when you look at it, if whatever they say they do, if it's a water plant here, water treatment there, look who is benefit from it. For the longest time, not change. Please, and you understand, the dog face and all that, they don't care. They will never change, you understand? They'll never have a pity on black people. All right? Read on Baba Kisha from the Isaiah today. The verse 10, Baba Kisha.
Which say to the seers.
Slakia, give me 9 from 9.
9.
Baba Kisha.
That this is a rebellious people.
A rebellious people, but to what end? What are you rebelling against? The solution? You done?
Lying children. Children that will not hear the law of the Lord.
The Lord righteous, that have all the things in them inside it to make sure everybody can live. You follow, to make sure that everybody taken care of. That is what the Lord, the Most High, is. Perfect, righteous, you understand? We done, Baba Kisha?
Which say to the seers, see not.
To see to the men that see, you follow, we should not open the mouth about this. We should keep quiet. You follow, unless somebody get a small hamper. I will get to himself sometime. I ain't lying to get HBC house. You understand? So don't see nothing wrong when you open them out for by. When they be talking about that for by, well, let me come around it. You understand? Making up pastor and all that, because they're killing your brother. They're destroying your parts, understand? They're raping your children. That is why we have to open our mouth, you follow. They're not stopping bringing guns and drugs in containers. Which one of us have that ability? They're not stopping doing it. So we have to see and say, you ain't like it, you understand, whatever the case is, you must be like, you understand, prostitution and drugs and all of that. So we don't care, because that destroying us. So we'll not stop saying. We'll not stop saying. You understand what I'm saying? We don't Baba Kusha?
See not. And to the prophets prophesied not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits.
For what? To lie to who? To make who feel good? Why should we, understand, put you in the same trap and we inside of ourselves? That is what you want to do? No, man. That is what you want to hear? What benefit, you understand, you could ever see? Think about it if you're thinking further than your nose. What benefit you could see, understand, that this place continue to operate the way it is operate? But these government ministers and them coming on there and just lying, you understand, just coming in and buying time. They're selling dreams. Like all they know to do to talk nice. What benefit is having it? You done, Baba Kusha?
Get you out of the way.
Get out of the way. Don't come and say nothing on the damn TV and the radio and thing and talk about these things and then come up the internet. Go and get a job. This is our job to make sure that you well taken care of. Big head. Because you won't do it for yourself, you understand? You won't come and get the knowledge to be able to run your house and them right. Because you want to be lazy. And then later on face the consequences. Like they want to lie down in the hospital and stuff. Oh God. God, you know, long God was trying to say, oh people, can listen now. Then you're in it for your own self. Then you want to know who do you something. And you want to blame the person who choking frog and feel and could them have some kind of power. You want to blame everything under the sun. But you ain't seeing gradually that this is what you're sowing into. You never take time to consider that. But you know what you wanted? Emancipation Day, Independence Day, a day to celebrate, a day to, you know, kick back and relax and drink something. And you know what? You know, you're thinking so small. Them benefit for he. You understand? Them fool he. You understand? Them get a little small thing for he. Them have money. Them a friend. You see them, you understand? Them have money now. I did with my friend and them. Bridging today in the partnership and they get to happen Martian and them fellas is entertainers. They pay to lie. They learn to lie well. You understand? Because now all that vibe is committed and all of that. Then what after, right? After what? Don't be like them, you understand? Them have no conscience. You don't have to have no conscience too. They making their money. Well, let's see how long they can make the money for. I pray, understand, they continue doing what they're doing and let the East Indian and them benefit. Let all of them do it. Let's see what kind of outcome they'll get. But you black man, you with your poor backside, you understand, you learn to come and see about yours. If all of because the rich don't care. The rich is oppressed. If all them know to do, you understand, is walk upon the people that don't have no power and all that. If all of them are not concerned with this. They don't see beyond their nose, but you feel, you know what it means, you understand, for your people to be hungry, for yourself to be hungry, to not be able to pay your bills and all of that. You know what I like. You stop being, understand, buying to the people and lies, and learn to come and you follow and love the truth. And come and face the hard road. You're already in the hard road. What are you looking for? You understand? Don't get caught up. We don't Baba Kusha?
Turn aside out of the path. Cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us.
They want me to close God eye for you. You're mad? You understand? So that we can represent the Most High. You want to be conscience free? You want your conscience clear? Nah, you'll make it guilty all day and all night until you stop. Let them who have no conscience, let them continue. The Delta virus do a fantastic job, a bang up job. The Most High is a real boss. That is the man who control, you understand, weapons of warfare and thing. You feel missile and gun and thing is a real thing, and you hype up. With that automatic machine gun that have a cooling system, and you feeling like, well, buying on top of the world. The Most High shut down the place with one little small virus, and it's shedding and spreading quick. It can multiply like you want to know how come it had lambada over here and it had delta plus over there. You want to know, you want to check it, you want to try and fix it. How I could fix it? Can't fix that. Yeah, you can't fight with the Most High. What's wrong with you, eh? You getting kicks? Well, I come up for that shit with us. You done, Baba Kusha?
Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this world, oppression, and stay thereon, Therefore, this iniquity shall be as a breach, ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant.
Oh, so let's thought that house to go live forever. You want that build a big Majuba house, a big lavish like house, right? That built on match green. So you picture this big house, big nice concrete house, and it built on strikes and matches. Them good matches and them in the box, and that's the legs, that's the foundation on it. That way either fall. Okay, kicks. The Delta variant and all these different things is proof. That should show you, follow that this system paying for the crimes that it have done, right? But they say we're free, right? Emancipation supposed to be, the time that marking the day that we was free, right? Let me go into that a little bit. Where is my article? Ima second Babakosha, right? Let's see if I can see this thing there real quick. Right. Ready. Right. Okay. Everything there. Right, Emancipation Day. All right. Well, I'll just read from here to say for time's sake, right? Emancipation Day. This is from the NALES website, right? So that's to show the people where I'm reading from. NALES, like the library, the National Library, whatever, database, whatever, Information Systems Authority. That is the library of Trinidad and Tobago. Like I would have one of them library, them famous library, and them named by whoever, professor, in New York and wherever the case is. This is the one for the entire Trinidad and Tobago, right? Emancipation Day from their records. Introduction. The history of the New World since Columbus rediscovered it is one of conquest, pillage, exploitation, and forced migration of our people. They miss out a couple of things like rape, you understand? Maiming, burglary, you know what I mean? Thievery, lynchings, a couple of things they missed out now, they probably happen to forget that all. They probably wanted to make it look a little nice now. Like the scripture was saying us now, smooth words, they would talk smooth words, but we wouldn't, all right? For more than 3 centuries, millions of people were forcibly transported from their homes in Africa. One thing, we wasn't living in Africa as residents or as people that belong to Africa. That is why they could have sold that line. What happened is we flee from Jerusalem into Africa. Babakosha, I have it in my bag again. But anybody had the Babylon to Timbuktu on them? We get that portion, Babakosha, just now. The same portion, I think, is page 84, second paragraph. In my bag, it have Babakosha, yeah? For more than 3 centuries, millions of people were forcibly transported from their homes in Africa across the perilous Atlantic Ocean to the New World, where they were forced to labor on sugar plantations for the rest of their lives. This enslavement of our people continued until events in Europe changed the fortunes of the West Indian and North American colonies, make them rich as hell, right? Humanitarians started questioning the validity of slavery. Here they're saying humanitarians, like that make a change. When does the humanitarians right now in the Beatum and in John, you know what I mean, in Compton, all the places, and in Long Beach, you follow in New York, where all the gun violence happening to one another, and all these police brutal killings, and them putting the crater guns that jumping off in Chicago, right? Where the humanitarians and them there? Where they forced, and if they had all this power, imagine that the change that was this entire system built on. The cotton plantations, they followed all the banks and all the lavish, all of Wall Street, the traded commodity was slaves. The humanitarians had all that power. So it is today. Somebody with the magic wand, they follow with the secret command, with the lamp, with the genie, you understand? To bring a humanitarian to solve all the problems. That is just to show you that what they're talking is BS, is utter garbage, is lies. There was no blasted humanitarians that changed nothing, right? We'll get into that just now. Humanitarians started questioning the validity of slavery, like it wasn't valid, but it was economically prosperous though. It was valid. Garbage, they're talking garbage, right? There was competition from best sugar producers in Europe, and the advent of the Industrial Revolution spawned the rise of a new group of influential men in the British Parliament who believed that slavery was no longer economically viable, right? Look at the timeline for this, though, right? Look for the timeline. In the next paragraph, it talks about 1833. But now, let us see why it wasn't so economically, what's the real reason why it wasn't so economically viable, right? Here's this article here. Which one of them is this? Only when it starts from 1808. Where is it? Is it this one? Where is it? Could be Wikipedia. This is a Wikipedia article on slave insurance. Slave insurance in the United States became an increasingly significant industry after the act prohibiting importation of slaves, a federal law which took effect in 1808, prevented any new slaves from being imported to the U.S. Existing slaves, especially skilled workers, therefore became more valuable and were often rented out to businesses. Slave owners insured against the death or loss of these rented out slaves. Industries which insured skilled slaves from their owners included blacksmithing, carpentry, railroad construction, coal mining, and steamboat operations. And insured rented slaves also included firemen and cooks. Chinese slaves called coolies were also insured. I'm adding that. The subject of slave insurance in the United States has become a matter of historical and legislative interest. In the history of slavery in the United States, a number of insurance companies wrote policies ensuring slave owners against the loss, damage, or death of their slaves. The fact that a number of insurance continue the businesses that service these policies have brought attention to this history. Pay attention to that. First things first, in 1808, when they started legislated now to make it illegal, so-called, to bring in slaves, is because of that time where the South was having more deaths in history, and we know this, right? Or we'll bring it out in another class, or we'll probably put another class in the comments or something showing you that history where the South was getting too much power and the North, right? Because what you're talking about here is in Virginia, up north side, right? So the South was getting too much power and having slaves. So what they did, what the North tried to do is to be able to not to give them too much power over them. They instituted things like these and so-called humanitarian interests. When really and truly all it was a power play. It wasn't viable for their economy because they would lose and the South would take over if they didn't do something like that. It wasn't because they was feeling no pity. It wasn't because they didn't want to stop bringing all them slaves and them across. Remember, they already have slave farms across here. This is the 1800s talking about. They have 200 years ahead start already because it's 1600, 16 something, beginning of the 1600s, 1611, somewhere around there. No, 1600s, right? When they started bringing across slaves across here, they're not 200 year head start already. What they're not adding in here, the words that they leave out, the nice comfort words, you know, that you like to hear and it looking so nice that these things wasn't the case. They already was inbreeding and had a big slave farm. You can look it up in the history in Virginia already. By that time, they don't have so much slaves already in the north. You follow? And certain places in the south. I understand have the south get bigger because remember they already mine it on a different level. Right? And they have the room, they have the land, the farmland to do it. So now when I do have, you understand, farmland in the north, and I started industry, remember the industrial revolution, so they started to change up the way things do. And they moved over into more mechanics, into more factories and all that. I don't have land, I don't have cotton fields, you understand, like the south. I have more land to bring more slaves. So now I'm going to try to stop the flow of income. You follow? So now I cut on that and I put this this insurance policy in place, or this thing in place, so that now it'll be so much money to insure one slave, I wouldn't want to bring no slave. You know what I mean? So now I put it on insured slaves, and is this one way? In one of the articles I'm showing you how many, and sometimes the slaves was insured even higher than white people. That is the type of value, that is the kind of money you're talking about here. That is how this place built up. It follows, so there was no humanitarian nothing. As today it is, it's always a power play and always about money. Always about money and power in this whole construction and everything. It wasn't because you wasn't so-called emancipated or let go from the slave plantations into the industrial revolution of today, right? Slave as well, right? Why they stopped the brutality of slavery, of chattel slavery, I would say. It wasn't that. You're not an emancipated black man. Go ahead.
Yeah, so now here, basically, if you have a dog and you want to take a dog and you bring it around your home, and you wanted to straps, you get a little pat on the back,
right?
And eventually it wouldn't want to go back. It might be from the neighbor yard. Again, I'll straps here, again, I'll pat on the back, you want to stay here, and it's the same thing they do to we as a nation, basically. Then it's cheaper not to feed me. Now you're hungry, so you had to come and work by me for next to nothing.
Right.
And you have no funds, resources, you know, you're mentally destroyed, you remain wherever they put you, and just work until you die, and you're sure the same thing. So they know that.
Thank you very much.
That's why you work that strategy, you know, it's cheaper.
Correct. And all it is just wordplay. To make it mean that now you're in a better condition.
Yeah.
No, it's better for their pocket.
Yeah.
If all is less work,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Correct. And I could get working, you follow, and continue to what you call it, to sustain what it is I have coming in. Right? And then the north, it have to be more powerful. I mean, the south, it have to be more powerful than the north. So the oppressor them, they okay. Right? But if they thought that and all would save them, they lie. Because all you have to understand where you fit in, and the lies that they try to sell you about emancipation and freedom, right? And you have so much liberty and so much things that are actually, what you call it, available to you. You understand? To build up yourself and your communities. That is a lie. That ain't the truth. You understand? So that is what the ISUPK under command in GEN.YAHANNA is set up to do. Under the Most High is this is the tool, you understand, to help you understand the reality of the situations that are going on today. So for Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, right?
The family, as you just said, Lord, of course, Israel is a big nation.
Cancer.
Because it's still against the one.
Correct.
It's scattered all over, and he was enslaved.
Cancer.
And he's still enslaved mentally because of the Christian church.
Cancer, damn right.
So I just want to read an article here in Trinidad. This was the proclamation on the abolition of slavery. That's the first two sentences.
Cancer, go ahead.
It's our proclamation, but I just want to read this particular part.
Cancer.
It says that note, the abolition of slavery does not declare them from all, does not declare them from or from the performance of duties to those who are to be their employers, and that they are not to quit the estates of their present master, who are to become their employers. Again, now I will say in the school we going to slave.
Cancer, right?
It's slave master.
Cancer.
Right? That's one more sentence. Without permission. So you're not supposed to leave the estate from your employers, also known as the slave master, without permission.
Right.
Except to go to church or to the market by law.
Look, so like say again, Babu, what was the last part?
Except to go to church, they can't leave. You understand the plantation then.
Right.
Except to go to church or to the market.
Good night. Yeah. What you do today? Same exact thing, and that was by law. That is how this system set up. So I guess this is from which part?
The proclamation on the abolition of
good night. This is right here in Little Trinidad, the sweet Little Trinidad and Tobago, your same cosmopolitan place. This is what the same people and me like to hook up with and line up with Carnival and feel all his friend. That was the law. That is your slave master line. You know that I in charge of you. That I control you, understand? I own you. He feel he's your God.
Of course, you know, the Christian church, that's how we come Stockholm syndrome.
Cancer.
So you're not falling in love with the slave master.
Cancer.
Fall in love with their culture and beliefs.
Right.
And we just sit so we will remain in slavery.
And
this just continue. That in the book. I believe that our next one in the Old Testament, I can't remember the book of Judith.
Right. That's right.
Chapter 5.
That's right, Cancer.
Yeah,
that's it. Right? Yeah, Cancer for sure. Right. Yeah, but that is a heavy point you bringing out here. Because that's what you learn, you follow? Why it is you in the same condition is because your slave master taught you that he beat that in there. To sin against the Most High, because once you know this, you would never be free. Never ever, you understand? You would never even think to know what rulership this look like. That is beyond people's mind today. Your slave master, you're saying just demand. What year that was, the proclamation of emancipation?
That was let's run before emancipation.
A generation. For real. Yeah, that. But what did you?
The book of Judith, chapter 20.
Answer.
Right? Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people.
So start from verse 17 and then jump to verse 20, Babakisha.
Fine. The book of Judith, chapter 5 and verse 17.
Yes, sir.
And whilst they sinned not before their power, they prospered.
Again, they what?
They prospered.
Go ahead.
Because the Most High that healeth iniquity,
it's like he hated
iniquity, was with them.
The Most High that hate iniquity, you understand, was with us. Why we don't sin? That is what your slave master make sure to do. So you have no protection. All right, verse 20, Babakisha.
Verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people,
in this people, Salakia,
right, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
Their what?
Their ruin.
Concern.
And let us go up, and we shall overcome them. Verse 21. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their God be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world.
Well, boy, I in line to tell you upon the scripture here, and I see how going on with the Delta variant and how it mash up Europe and all them different places and them, and I sure it has some righteous men on the earth and some righteous. If also the Lord giving you a little taste of what could happen if you obey Him, and what you do to your enemies, you understand? Them that rape and rob and murder and kill and enslave and make sure that the wages, you understand? You could never see the light of day. You could never see your head above water. You always struggling with bills. You follow? The Most High making sure and show you a little taste of what could happen and if you obey Him. And if when He with you, you understand? Cancer, that was heavy to water, sir.
It's like we can't obey our fault because we're in church.
Cancer.
And then them people and I'm oppressed in this way. That smoke drugs, they don't ease you stress now.
Right.
You drink so much alcohol until you get drunk.
Right.
So of course you can't obey.
For real.
I know, as they say, come in school.
That's right, Cancer.
The right thing.
That's right. You have a haven, like what the officer saying. You have a place, there is a solution for you to come out of that. For you to even get assistance, you understand, to come off the drugs and brothers the police, you understand, and work with you, you know what I mean, and be that big brother for you. Same thing with the sisters, you know what I mean, have men that over here that could counsel you, understand, no matter where you've been through, where you've been forced to go through and all these different things, there is the solution. We have evidence of that. That everything inside of here, you know what I mean, you just ain't, you know what I mean, or don't believe that there's leadership for black people. There is people that care about black people here, and they're in the I.S.U.P.K. I mean, we had to just give yourself a chance, give yourself a chance. Brothers and them to be here, we did it. Are we glad, we real happy we take that chance? Go ahead, warrior, go ahead.
Yeah, just to add Officer Galawan was saying with the time that the Netanyahu, when he come out to church, and to Officer so what the read,
right?
Basically, whenever you out to church, you go in the Christian church,
right?
They encouraging you in eating things like pork,
that's right,
ham and things during Christmas time, so you're sinning.
Correct.
You go in the Rastafarian, they encouraging smoking, so you're
Correct.
sinning.
Correct.
You go in the Muslim mosque, they encouraging you to worship in a stone, like idolatry, you're sinning.
Correct.
So basically, they're sending you out to keep you innocent.
Damn it, that is it. That is itself and law. It was by law. They follow, so they don't enshrine it inside your mind and make sure that ingrained with you, so you grow that way. So you have to loose them bands and them wickedness stand. That is what they teach you to do. Yes, sir.
Again, to top it off, these are the ones who tell you that emancipate.
Thank you very much. Exactly. They saying you're free. You understand? But you're going, they just get a higher pay than you gonna. If they want to be a richer slave. No, brother. No, sister, you understand? Give yourself a chance, yo.
And the proclamation was written in July 12, 18.
July the 12th, 1834.
Then 4 August the 1st.
Right. Answer. Right. So I got 2 generations in past here. That was just now the other day. You follow? And that was law. That is how you live in here today. You cussing that pastor in your mind right now. You supposed to be so mad, eh? To say, boy, this mother so and so, boy. Look at boy, this man lead me into now, boy. I come here and understand that plenty of people that really look for righteousness coming to the church to change now, boy. You know what I mean? Any bad man, you can ask him, any man coming up the street, he thinking if follow the church now is a place, well, them that know them pastors, they say, okay, they ain't going there. They might go by the mosque or somewhere else, you know what I mean? Looking for, but you are Rastafarian or some way, let's start a change, you know what I mean? Thinking that there is an avenue, but that, if follow is just a next trap that's set up by law, which was by law for you to continue to sin against the Most High. And for you to not to come back. That is why it is fight. You understand? If you manage to see this class, you're real fortunate. Don't take that chance for granted, brother. You know what I mean? I was saying that you don't know when you're time. You might say, well, boy, I had a real thing to do. You know what I mean? I ain't probably having this whatever the case like. We don't care about all of that. You know, the Most High don't care whether we could get the Most High. Or you could dress up and show up for the Most High and pour on this and pour on that and press the Most High. You don't care about that? You understand? You care that you come in alignment and now you get the things that you need. If all of you have a dress, because it says did I dress code in class, you don't have a dress. You have pants, you understand? That's like a show you don't cut up pants, whatever. Or something can be arranged, you know what I mean? That's what we about. You want no Satan telling no shopping thing in here, they follow and thing and boy, me and this team war in here. They follow and boy, if I got to put on my gun and all kind of thing. Yes, you got to put on your gun. Because Lord allow you, understand, we can get the opportunity to come in and maybe understand pull more brothers out of that. Because really and truly the system set up for all the brothers to continue to kill one another, to make the poor, to make the rich richer. Offer drugs, they ain't gaining nothing else, they're taking away everything else from you. Yeah, I can't wash and all, they follow, they're watching you with that pattern here. So somebody looking to take a thing, they're looking to put something in somebody's head for you to do that, or make sure things so terrible that anything you try to come up by yourself, you follow, they're looking to crush you down, but you have a whole military system, brother. You follow, and the most important thing you have to get on your side is the Most High power. You have to get His approval, you understand, and learn to think how He does things. You follow, and you're going to be free then. Then you're going to really be free. Then you're going to really be emancipated. Before, you understand, so you'll be emancipated in trading and then eventually to rule the planet. To be part of the ruling class, the upper class that know how to have a compassion. Learn how to have some morality, you understand? Some dignity about yourself. Yeah? And them things that you was never taught that. This world making sure you never learn that as the brothers now reading there in Judith 5. You know once you sin against the Most High in any way, shape, or form, that is it for you, God. You will be, understand, you will be destroyed. Yeah? Give me, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I have slave insurance.
Answer.
I remember article I was reading too. When slave was abolished,
right,
the white man get paid for losing his slave.
Then yeah, it is one of them guys say yeah. But not you would get they call it the premium or the payment from the insurance for the loss of slaves. Well that through that and all that number. But you did get that as well. Yeah. And imagine that, right? All of these different things they put in system, just as they do it today. All of the insurance policies. Now the insurance on a slave, I've seen one of them was 500. Some of them slaves was 1,200 and 1,500 according to the size of the brother, you know. But imagine you getting money you follow from thievery. Yeah. Because No matter how you put it, how you spend it, you teach the people. You understand? That is not something that you raise and grow and that you cattle or something like that. They people really thief and rob and rape and all kind of thing. And they in their mind they feel like, you know, like this go to me, you know. I have an insurance policy and I'm man. You follow? Come on, man. You tell yourself, and it's not to say, well, okay, this is a servant, they follow that under me, and I really know what these people are doing right by them. Not that, you understand, you make you sleep in dirt, and make sure you understand all your wounds in them, you overbeaten you, so all your wounds exposed, and again, you understand, gangrene and all kind of different things, in cheating you, so if you in touch, you understand, your rectum, which is very impossible, which is highly unlikely, you in touch, you understand, your private parts, you're gonna repair, you're gonna make sure you destroy you. That is the mind of this carnal beast that we under. You worry, go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, that's for sure. Basically, things in change. Even today, like how we the slave.
Right.
Most are like on them projects on them. There's been in US.
Right.
And there's an X by a name.
Right.
Because even our brethren went offshore. Sometimes you see a document, a BP document paid in US X. And when he gain Y, he understand.
Thank you. He gain TT. You understand? That's right. And that is the kind of schemes you're talking about. But that is the mind of this man. This man not about fairness. He not about pain. He just waits. And the most I hate, you understand, a false balance. He love a false balance. He love it. He love it too bad. Every way, shape, or form, he just tell you already. He just live by the sword. You're not coming good from a man who live by the sword. Maybe that one of them, you follow that mind that end up escaping, you understand, the mentality or the teachings, you understand, of how to be a good oppressor. You follow? That they make up for the rest. Because the whole of them, the whole humanitarian system, all of them. If we have 100,000 good humanitarians, where are they? Where is in the ghettos now, you follow? Where is the system? They're supposed to be working and just contributing to making sure that by all the things that black people face, we gain them back something. Like all them supposed to be doing. If there's humanitarian. But humanitarian don't work in an office no way for no insurance and them kind of thing. They just work on fill out documents and go and work on the side. When the Christians and them they like to do that, but Habitat for Humanity and all the place on them, right? At least them call one of them institutions that are so working. I ain't go for names, but I see how they operate. They go and fix this house and this and that and the other and all of that. They get funding from somewhere. Right? So why it is that all people that destroy, they ain't for that money, they may not humanitarian. A bunch of liars they follow. I just want to look, you know, I want to feel like doing something good. You know about that? Go ahead, go ahead.
If I mean, just to add to what you're saying, even a lot of people don't know what places like Habitat for Humanity. A lot of people don't know that the people that have actually pay back. You get like a loan. So it's like actually a grant.
Good night.
Yeah, so people actually have to pay back.
Wait. So they said Habitat for Humanity, which means a home for humanity, you follow? And now the people under is supposed to be helping is alone. So with that, you know what I mean? They don't make no money, you know, all the contributions they get, is that? I see the money as well. You see how the oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of? You see how he's disgusting? Because all the money, Jeff Bezos and all of them, with all the tax breaks that they know how to evade tax good. It's amazing nothing to come across there, not a cent, not a red penny. These people say enemy, you had war. People them don't care about you, them looking to kill you at any second. They wish they could work, you know, and living all the flesh of your bones like they used to do in slavery. They wish they could do that today. I think in Amazon, how much people in Amazon that there's collapse service ever so often because of the amount of time they working. And Jeff Bezos is one of the richest man in the world. You see how the rich of this world is think? Go ahead. So you want to be on the Emancipation Committee, or you want to really and truly be free? Really and truly. Think about it, brothers and sisters. Very, very. Up to you. I like going to this little document here, slave insurance, right? Slave insurance involves a contract between a policyholder and an insurance company, in which the insurer promised to pay a sum of money upon the death of an enslaved person. In the three, but wait now, what's the difference to do? All of we working as slavery, you follow? Some kind of slavery is the same damn thing. There's working it was prettier. So if you thought then you was a free person, sorry to disappoint you. You understand? Yeah, next slave as well. It's the same thing. That's how it was. It was birthed. They follow, and the brother now read it. you don't come out nowhere. You can't leave the plantation unless it's to go to church or somewhere else. You know what I mean? It follows the same damn thing. They make it pretty hours, and you thought that you was living in London. You thought, you know, it was good. So if you then like want to tell yourself, you know what I mean, I'm going to do this, you know yourself, right? You go well and ahead, you know what I mean? But for the brothers and sisters that would sigh and cry for all the abominations done in the city, this is your home. This is the home of the truth. This is where you belong. According to the Most High, not even me. I don't control that. The Most High say that he will put an angel to go to the city and put the mark, you understand? Put the words in their mind of the men that sigh and cry for the abominations of the city. That sigh and cry for the abominations done in the city, brothers and sisters. All right? So let me go back to the article here, right? So, in the 3 decades leading up to the American Civil War, that's what we are now talking about it with the South and the North. And why, you understand, these things was put in place to not give the South so much advantage. Read that up, Babu Kishar, which means please, right? 1861 to 1865. Such policies became widespread in southern states, in Virginia, the Baltimore Life Insurance Company of Maryland, and the later Virginia Life Insurance Company sold insurance to slaveholders who were worried about the potential deaths of enslaved people performing particularly valuable work, such as blacksmithing, carpentry, and household duties, or dangerous work, such as factories and mines, railroads, right? Or steamboats, you think it can blow up and think it collapse, and you know, all these different specialty jobs, like how plenty brothers, you know, being certain experiences that we get. We go there and you know some kind of gas thing blow up, you know, basically you go on. But you know something, anyway, let me get into it. But you don't see, it's not the high insurance premium, or not premium, the high insurance, we got a documentation if anything happened to a brother. You don't usually see that. You know what I mean? When you go and fill out your paperwork. But you're one, I almost sure that money, you follow that the insurer paying, no, that the employer paying, the insurer is in US dollars to collect what? US dollars. But I'm almost sure that you will get a smidgen of that in TT, if any at all. If they was able to say, well, boy, this is your fault. Oh gosh, he pocket rich and he don't even smile. He don't even butter eyelid. That don't even, you know, bother him at night. At somebody, you know, that working for him and contribute to make them, they're going to make probably 100,000 or you understand, or 100,000 a day US dollars, right? That's die on my watch. Now he gonna suntan on top of the boat after you understand and go and swim. Yeah, there's another Negro there. There's another slave die. Small thing. That's how they think, eh? Because remember, this knowledge was passed on to them. This was 1865, not too long ago. That just erased out of your mind. And they know the American Civil War very well. They know the history very well. They know what it was about. But you don't know though, because they're telling you emancipated, right? All right. We don't know. Virginia Life Insurance Company sold insurance to slaveholders who were worried about the potential deaths of enslaved people performing blah, blah, blah. Most policies were concentrated in urban areas, with few plantation owners seeking policies on their field hands. Why didn't they do that though? A few plantation owners, that is the people that with the field, that's the industrial people in, that is in the south, right? Why didn't they do that? If they was making so much money before, and they are all them slaves, why would you not seek, you understand, insurance policy? Because remember they make it legal now. Why wouldn't you do that? Instead of cut down the profits, like any business. Anything that's going to take away from a profit, so I'm not seeing it as something viable to do, I will stop doing it. You follow? So it is I'll do is work with probably what I have already. I ain't go, you know, try to go into something that will put me into debt. So it's just the common sense of putting it together, you know. And that is what you have to look at. That's what they're not telling you in all the words. You have to look for what they're not saying. And actually, what is the history behind all these different things in it. That is why the men in the I.S.U.P.K is so valuable. You follow? That is why the Lord has come, these men and them that come to serve him, so valuable to you, brother. You understand? Think about what kind of good graces there could be in the Most High sight when all this debt passing, all the Delta variant plus 3 plus 5 plus Lambada 2, Lambada dance, salsa, when all them things coming through. I would have won the Most High power back in me, you understand? Covering me, if I was, you know what I mean, in this time and age. I just saying, brother, it's up to you, sister, up to you. I would have won, you understand, the covering from the Most High power, right? In a few cases, people purchase policies as collateral toward manumission. Let me look at that one time. Let me let that pass out. Let me look at that real quick, right? I'll let somebody read it from here, right? There you go. I think they see. Just let me know if you all seen the thing properly now, right? Okay, you all see it, but it's short. You all seen the definition there?
Yeah, the same manumission, release from slavery.
So, all right, back to the article, right? So, in a few cases, people purchase policies as collateral toward the release of slaves, right, or freedom of enslaved people. Hampered by a lack of research on slave mortality, companies tended to charge premiums on black lives at twice the value of those on white lives, as I was saying earlier on, right? And regularly reviewed the policies for changes in health or occupation. Right? So of course they go evaluate it just like they do today. It's the same thing. Right? When they go and evaluate well, how healthy it is to decide, you know, how much premium you pay and how much you can pay out. You know what I mean? Like if they pay $1 million and if you're a high risk patient, you know, some insurance companies wouldn't take somebody according to their situation that they have. You know what I mean? It isn't profitable. So the same thing they're doing on the plantation, the same thing they're doing today. Nothing changed. Just do it different or just deal with it a little different. Right? Baltimore Life did not insure enslaved people of their total value and prohibited more than one policy on a single person. Almost, which means they was probably doing it before. So you see how the slave master was thinking? As long as he could, he probably used to do 2 and 3 on one. So imagine a family that they usually buy, right? If they the family together and they split them up, right? Most of the time the father would go somewhere because there's a buck. Like $1,400 and $1,500, you understand? $1,600 for a buck, right? But a family now, a woman maybe $800, the children them, you know, according some of my children, the young children according used to be, you know, probably around 600, some of them according to the age, 1,200 for a young boy, you know, all them different ranges and that. When they now putting together this life policy, you know, I want to pay $200 for 5 people. I don't pay 200 and so now, remember they wasn't doing proper research, as the article say. So when they didn't proper research, now they get licks. But the slave master making sure I trying to cut a deal as best as possible, and I'm a partner, so I go talk sweet now. You know there's done kind of even bastards already. So you know they talk sweet and you know make sure they when they go on our outside now they come and try to talk nice with everybody now. They usually this right. But am I trying to get, you know, the best deal as possible, but they notice and they start to cut it down now, right? So what is they doing? The same thing they do with life insurance policies today, right? Almost 60% of the company's policies between 1854 and 1860 covered slaves. Almost 60% of the entire innocent company policies covered slaves, not white people. So this was economically viable. It was big business. They followed to do this, and that is what you have today. They follow nothing, and that's how they established the big empires and all that. No, see they get all them we call this thing the payout now, the payout for the insurance. Why does they didn't say, well, okay, these people work so hard for me and build up my whole empire? Why does that not give them something towards the emancipation? How much black people that have in Trinidad and Tobago? There's maybe 1.2 or 1.4 somewhere, right? And half the population is black people, right? So how come you know to get something other than something towards them? Where is the fund that contributed to them? Sure, remember the Chinese had the association. So they had to build up business and know they have an economic structure to pass it down. And as I think Captain Mashak was bringing out in our class, sometime ago, about 3 years ago, something like that, right? He was breaking down with the emancipation class. You and Cream was in that class, right? And he was saying that these people give the own people a 10-year head start. So now, when you know Saddam Scratch and trying to figure out how to do things and all of that, they already have 10 years ahead of you and just passing on the information and training them as they go along. Let's keep on cycling good business owners. That's why you don't see Syrians and them in the colleges and them running down degree and all of that. You don't see them fighting up to do that because they're already getting passed down the information how to make sure that you qualify to work for their business. I say it from experience from working for Syria. If I'm doing 3 jobs for 1 pay, that ain't so much neither. Almost as I'm breaking my back. These people and when I didn't know better. You understand in that Christian world, I'm not serious about it. thinking, you understand, that everybody's one. And they smile and laugh and all of that. And these Christians, they go to church too, no? And just like, let me see how dread them people is. The man used to, the father used to stay on the back just as the slave master would do long time. So on the back of the church, right there, and he fully and he sit down right there, and he watching to make sure the pastor teaching the slaves and them the good side. Make sure not teach them nothing about their history and who he is and what he's supposed to do. And who the Lord really is. He making sure he's still right there. Same exact fashion. You get a sway and understand that he's the man in the book and he just jump off the book and inside the church. What's the judge? Nothing changed and nothing, the same exact spirit, everything the same way. Right? And while we're on that topic now, right? Well, let me finish with it out first. With many of these policies being sold out of a Richmond office opened in 1854, the practice suggested a sophisticated understanding of how best to exploit capitalism toward the ends of making a profit on the enslavement of African Americans. They made sure they make that thing a science. That is what it is. So-called black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. What you start to do now is look at their salary. Look at the trend. Look at how much the bank does make. If you're working in the bank, look at the dividends and look how much they make, and you will see. And see how much of that does come to you and the benefits that are associated with it. And see if this is not, you understand, another plantation. If you think you follow that, you're free. Because all you need to start to understand to do is start to contribute to your people and come and build up your economic system. Come and contribute to that, because what you're doing is just making the rich richer, so that they can oppress you further and find out a more sophisticated way now to make your life hard. And to squeeze out more profit. Yeah? From there we go across to this article here. This is, I think I'll read it from my phone, right? So this is the article from 2011, Babu Kashai family, right? So they're saying keep race out of criminal behavior. I just want to touch on one thing real quick, what's important to understand, right? They're saying in the article, it's ridiculous for some public officials to opine, which means to conclude, right, that the only reason Trinbagonians were charged under the anti-gang legislation was because they are black. Now I'll jump in this here and go to the third paragraph, right? Now they're saying the stark reality, which means the show, or let me look up stark, right? But not to be too extra. Let's see stark, right? Real quick, stark. It's supposed to mean something serious now, right? So the stark or the severe, right? The severe reality, right, is that 99.9% of the prison population in 2011, right, is made up of African Trinbagonians, so so-called African, but all people. 99.9%. You see how amalgamated end up going up, you understand, the islands and having all that money? How much years they running? If from how long they in power? Anybody? How long I know the top of all how long amalgamated in business? Amalgamated. I really want to find that. Let me see what. Amalgamated. Security services, right? As you can find something with the history real quick, right? Let's see who we are. Look at him, man. Look at here, look at right here. Established in 1983, right? Since 1983, and look at that, look how rich they become. Offer your 99.9% of black people in the prison. Say again, Babu Kasha?
That's right.
Damn right. Give me the Isaiah 42 and 22, Babu Kasha.
Isaiah 42 and 22.
Mm-hmm.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 42 and verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
Robbed and spoiled. As hell. Robbed and spoiled. Tell me you follow. Tell me what come along with emancipation again? Oh, any benefits like I mean, when they say robbery without gun? Yeah, go to read it again, Babu Kasha.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
They are all of them snared in holes,
Mm-hmm.
and they are hid in prison houses.
In where?
Hid in prison houses.
99.9%. hid in prison houses. You follow? And that is making them conglomerates, international multi-millionaires. And what the church teaching me by? Oh, where the system in place, right? All humanitarian and one of them, right? Where are their contributions towards solving that problem? That sounds like a pandemic. What do you call it? What do you call them thing again? Oh gosh. Next word for pandemic now. Next word for pandemic.
What's
Cancel.
That's true. Yeah, they say when they send teaching me how to read results.
Correct. Damn right. Correct. Correct.
Lord and the Lord.
Yeah. Lord and the Lord. Oh, don't wait. Yeah. And just like Officer Galawan said in the article there too. Right. They make it law that the only thing you can do is go to church. And if the prison church and people is not full with black people, right? Well, what the church and them teach them then? All I'm thinking them, if this is the result that them going and working for the plantation then all they can learn from them is to be a wicked bastard.
Right.
An evil man, you understand? And sometimes it's not even that is the case, and sometimes it's because a woman don't think that, you understand, and that is she breaking a law again too. You understand? Coming against the Mosiah and his structure, right? Because she believed that the man could only have one wife, and because the man had one, he had 2, 3, you understand, woman, and he had different children. Now you want to say that he ain't paying child support and all kind of different trap. And the man, you understand, about 30% at the jail will be stick up with brothers, you know what I mean? That some evil woman that was taught by the Christian church, thank you. You understand? Pastor Jamal, Pastor Kofi and all of y'all, you understand? I see the job you all did. Thank you for that, you understand? Don't worry. The most I will thank you as well, even better. You understand that any of us could even think to thank you. Don't worry. All right, read on, Babu Kisha.
They are for prey. They are none delivered. For a spoil. And none saved, restore.
Nobody's saying that at all. So one to the Emancipation Committee, all these years are planning, you know what I mean? How long you are wrong thing. And they ain't saying, well, boy, these people have been preyed upon, you know what I mean? They've been spoiled. Let me help the situation. Nothing. Who you emancipating? Your pocket. You understand? Understand some. The leaders that lead you cause you to Arab black man, Hispanic woman, Latin, Native Indian man, Native Indian woman. You follow everybody else, understand? Just want to pray and live offer you destruction actually. You not say, well, okay, they're making money and you making some money on the side. You being destroyed for them to eat, for them to live and buy the Bentley and the Mercedes Benz and all this garbage. Nobody pitying you, yo. You understand? Come on, be a partner. It's not about family then, that nobody pity we. If all I am saying, you know what I mean, that we looking down on you and when we go pity and all them different things. Of course, once you family, you don't know who is looking for family. Families look out for one another. That is all. Yeah? And is that all right? That's the end of the scripture there, warrior.
Yeah, that's the end of verse 22.
Yeah, all right, jump across to the Ezekiel 24, Babu Kisha. Starting from verse 2, Babu Kisha.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 24 and verse 2.
Go ahead.
Son of man, write thee the name of the day,
right,
even of this same day. The king of Babylon set himself against Jerusalem this same day.
Right, just understand something, that the oppressor he set himself against Jerusalem, against the people of the Most High Power. He follow against the land, against the culture, against everything. This is war, you understand? This is what the scripture is saying here. Read on and you'll see. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And utter a parable unto the rebellious house.
Pastors and the followers, Emancipation Committee, and all the liars that feed on people's lives. Go ahead.
And say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, set on a pot.
You see the most I talk like a real gangster thing, eh? Put out the fire for me. What's something? Read it. Read on, Babu Kisha.
Set it on. And also pour water into it.
Yeah, so pour water in it. Let me show you what I'm going to do with this. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Gather the pieces thereof into it. Even every good piece.
But even every good piece, you winding it up now, you know what I mean? You talking it up now. Look, this is how I'm going to do it up. Read it, Baba Kesha.
The thigh,
Mm-hmm.
the shoulder,
The shoulder, put everything in it, go through.
fill it with the choice bone.
Choice bones, you understand? Put everything nice in it. Remember that parabola? Right, go ahead.
Verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Take the choice of the flock
Mm-hmm.
and burn also the bones under it,
Mm-hmm.
and make it boil well.
Make it boil well. Make it steamy. Go ahead.
And let them seed the bones of it therein.
Mm-hmm. You done?
Verse 6. Wherefore, thus say the Lord God, woe to the bloody city.
Most I saying, woe to the bloody city, destruction to the bloody city. Go ahead.
To the pot whose scum is therein.
To the pot whose scum therein. Understand all this philosophy and all this garbage and all the things that they have there, that is scum therein. All the understand all them lying pastors and them on all the oppressor them that doing all this wickedness. That is coming. You know, this all this the white man. Yeah, Paul is coming in a minute. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
And whose scum is not gone out of it.
You understand? They didn't want no part. They didn't want no part with the change, but no part of cleaning up and changing the wicked ways. We done?
Bring it out piece by piece.
Bring it out piece by piece. Go through.
And let no lot fall upon it.
Let no lot, nothing miss. Don't let nothing miss. Go through. Mm-hmm.
Verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
For her blood is in the midst of her.
Our blood is in the midst of her. You understand how they live? Bam, bam, bam. Yeah. So your blood, you understand, could be upon you. Read on.
She set it upon the top of a rock.
Mm-hmm.
She poured it on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
To cover it with dust.
Like the priest and them would do in Leviticus, you know what I mean? When they do something, kill something, you know, you take it out to the side, as the Lord say. I pour it out and cover it with the dust. They ain't doing that, you know what I mean? They put it up high, like there's a sacrifice now. You understand? So they flaunting now. Wickedness and we doing it on top, let people know what we in charge then. You understand? Nothing to come and touch me, but we real bad. You understand? I demand the person, real bold face. Read on, Baba Kesha.
Verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
That it might cause fury to come up to take vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
I have set her blood upon the top of a rock.
Since you want to play, you understand, you're real bad, I put your blood on top of a rock. I go make it a sacrifice. You done?
That it should not be covered.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 9.
Right.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord God,
Mm-hmm.
woe to the bloody city.
Mm.
I will even make the fire of fire great.
I'll make the fire great. You understand? That is the most high power. Not the lying, you understand? Not the lying bastards. And I mean that what it is they're talking about in the church. That is the most high power. He's a man very poetic, you understand, in terms of how he do things. You feel like you know what I mean, like a bad man really, like you really and truly messed up now. You know, and a man swinging fair and he like, you know, this is what coming and do to you. You know what I mean? He lock the whole city, say I want a corner of everything. Nobody could pass no way. Everything locked, you understand? So you're going to see you're coming and do you that. But man, that is how the most side deal with things, with situation. You see in Delta variant and you thinking, boy, this thing, dread boy, look how killing people, boy. But you know how long people doing wickedness then? You know how long? And nothing, you know what I mean? You feel like it's that long thing now. You know, so the most side saying, well, let me show you how I'm going to deal with something. So this is the warning, black man, black woman. You follow? All them pastor them, I don't know if they even had the common sense to even come off for that wickedness. And then the most side even warn them that. You follow? For all the wickedness and all the evil they do. I don't know, it's up to them. They can try, but I know the scripture says they had to bring fruit, meat for repentance. Yeah? Read on, Baba Kesha.
Mm-hmm. Verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Heap on the wood,
Mm-hmm.
kindle the fire,
Mm-hmm.
consume the flesh, and the and spice it well.
And spice it well, season it up well, you understand? I say, yeah, boy. The most guys are real bad man. You understand? Real tough. Go ahead.
And let the bones be burned.
Let the bones be burned. Go ahead. Next verse.
Verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
Then set it empty upon the coals thereof,
Mm-hmm.
that the brass of
Mm-hmm.
and may burn,
Mm-hmm.
and that the filthiness of it may be molten in it,
Mm-hmm.
that the scum of it may be consumed.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
She had wearing herself with lies.
Oh gosh, well boy, we emancipated. You understand? We real thing, we free. You understand? Nah, God love everybody, but that's not in the Bible. You understand? The laws of God done away with, that's not in the Bible. You understand? Nah, we call it, God say, you understand, to love everybody. God say, let everybody have choice. You understand? Nah, Christ love everybody, that's not in the Bible. You don't, Baba Kesha?
Mm-hmm. and her great scum went not forth out of her. Her scum shall be in the fire. Verse 13. In thy filthiness is lewdness.
Lewdness, watchman, a show when they go and see some African dance, how they go and dance and jiggle up the bam bam all over the place. You follow? Lewdness. Time and nothing woman like or lady like in them. Read on, Baba Kisha.
Because I have purged thee, and thou was not purged. Thou shalt not be purged by filthiness anymore, till I have caused my fury to rest upon thee. Verse 14.
Read on.
I, the Lord, have spoken it. It shall come to pass.
Most I say, I say this. It shall come to pass. Real talk, go ahead.
And I will do it. I will not go back.
See, by me holding my hand, I gonna unleash. Read on, Baba Kisha.
Neither will I spare, neither will I repent.
Definitely.
According to thy ways, and according to thy doings, shall they judge thee, saith the Lord God.
Alrighty. Alright. Nice and night, you know what I mean? So, brothers and sisters, we invite you all, you know what I mean, to come and let us come out here. You feel me? So, you understand? You want to call the number? It's 290-5173. That is Officer Galwan number. Questions, concerns, doubts, Satan in your brain, your family trying to fight against you. You know what I mean? Most likely that is because, you know what I mean, they definitely want to try and still be most high. That will go up in opposition. This world, evil as hell, but you see what comment to it. Right? If the Delta preview, every Delta thing is working as a preview to show you what time it is. I don't know what else to wait for, you know what I mean? But again, the doors always open here. Alright, so follow the I.S.U.P.K. You understand? All of our platforms on TikTok, on the Facebook, on the YouTube. Like and share. Let somebody else get a chance to. Like a second. Clubhouse. Right? You don't know. Instagram. Everywhere we is, you follow. Make sure and stay tuned. Don't frighten to ask questions. This is your time, you know what I mean? Before everything shut down, pray to gather back to your people and them and come and learn. You know what I mean? So that these things are going to be falling. Because all they have all day is lies and garbage. But the scripture said, they wear yourself in lies. They ain't stopping. Love that thing too bad. And you break a sweat. The pastor come in, you know, you think and you happy dance and every same. And pass the coffers after. Take your money and you go on. You home, send your tithes. Not the scripture saying, no, you're increasing. Remember, scripture, they just send my 10%. You know what I mean? You know, concern. All right? And with that, we pass the class about the prison of SHALAM.
Security announcement. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 123 SHALAM, New York. Under command Gen.YAHANNA. We wish our brothers and sisters, when a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off for 6 months. They are here to be saluted, they are here to share themselves of the world. After the 6 months, a brother or sister has a permission from the head to speak to another brother or sister. There's another 6 months where the sister will support each other. After the 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 21, Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. Means 10 delivered from my share. Send of every penny and a keep the most I gives you, give to your treasury department. But teacher, please spot. Pure offering for priest, non-mandatory, whatever amount you like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation. That will be the memorial pulling of trumpet, the first day of the 7th month. That will be Monday, the 6th of September 2021. That you can find it in Leviticus chapter 20, verse 24 to 25. Mind that, you that watch to check on social media such as I.S.U.P.K, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and material. If your brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then you start with all black, which include black boots, light shirt, light pants, light headband, and scarf. And that will say, madam, start and rock with them. You're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanawa, Tabashamaya, Ya, I.S.U.P.K, Asalak Noah, Walking Noah, Salah, Sabia Noah, Shai One, All, Shai Noah, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Ka, Malakwa, Ala, Parat, Alumium.
In English, what we just said was our Father, which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
We're going to say the blessings. Barak, Atah, Yahweh, Shai, Allah, Walhayim, Tezabia, GEN.YAHANNA, Walapiam, Asaranium, Hakwat Zalianium, Hakwat Yalium, Wahwatium, Yahweh, Hashem, Shai, Wadaman.
In English, bless Yahweh, and Yahweh, and Michael, and the angels, commanding generals, captains, the officers, troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh, thank you, so be it.
We're going to say the Hakat, Yahweh, Hashem, Shai, Latan Noah, Hakat, Makala, Madawan, Atimazarium, Akat, Akwayam, Amatayam, Akat, Ayakawat, Maala, Darishun, Hashem, Shai,
in the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh, please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. No manner of disease. Power to cleanse the leper. Power to raise the dead. Power against unclean spirits. Cast them out. In the name of Yahweh. Thank you. So be it. This is the I.S.U.P.K curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh. King of heaven and earth. And all things living. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh. This is to us now. Right now. Set evils and curses. And punishment and destruction. To the heathen. And speak against us. The prophets. The teachers. The princes. The priests. The Israelite brothers. And the schools. Set evils and curses. And punishment and destruction. To the heathen. And shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel, and refuse to give to the school. Force the riches, strengthen to thy sanctuary, and evils and curses, and punishment and destruction, the Edomites, and the nation, and the drug dealers, court system, prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Pascomataz, gay movement, lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, that's a space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet, and the airwaves, cable access channel, and the radio channel, convict the spirit of any of thy people, and seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen, and stand in the way, or try to stop us from broadcasting your word, swore the planet, that loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro to the earth, and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Then Yahweh, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathen that come up against us as we speak thy words. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause it to shake as they coming. In the name of Yahweh, thank you all. So be it.
We're going to the blessings with Yahweh, Hashem, Shai, Noah, Rashala, Ayat, Farim, Barak, Gun.
Pastor All brothers and sisters fighting to come to the truth. All brothers and sisters in the truth.
Commander General Yahanna, all the generals, captains, officers, troopers, sisters, destroyer of Israel, brothers and sisters fighting to come to the truth. All 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, I.S.U.P.K worldwide and their families, I.S.U.P.K trying to big on their families, my teacher, that's the path, Partizan, Yapa, Tamar.
Commander General Yahanna, General, officers, sisters, children, all the destroyer of Israel, the Pash, Indian family, Muslim family,
Commanding General Yahanna, all the generals, all the captains, all the officers, all the troopers, all the students, all the sisters,
Commander General, captains, troopers, sisters, children, destroyers, Yakal, Philip family, John family, Texas family, Google family, Francis family.
Commander General, General, Captains, officers, troopers, sisters, children, brothers and sisters fighting for the sake of our people, have mercy upon all the destroyed, have mercy upon all our families. General, captains, officers, troopers, sisters, students, all the
And all the fighting
community. Brothers and sisters in the I.S.U.P.K. Brothers and sisters fighting community. Grand and Beavers in the I.S.U.P.K. Transfer family, Zion, Messia, Daniela, Sheila, Chantel, Nima, Khadija.
I.S.U.P.K Global, all the brothers and sisters fighting to come into the truth, see and the destroyer of Israel, the Bawa, Alicia, Aliyah, Teresa, Joyce, Natwell.
So, Basham, Moshai, Wadaman.
When they said the English was Lord, in the name of Yahushua, bless us, and Israel, and the school, bless, heal, shield, protect, and love one. In the name of Yahushua, thank you. So be it.
Sir, let's get a teacher one quick to Imagine Shabbat, Imagine Barak. Yalimata, sir. Let's get the sisters online at one quick to Imagine Shabbat, Imagine Barak. Yalimata,
All right.